Colts versus Dolphins. How do you want to go off of that?
Oh, now the Colts going up against the Miami Dolphins. Good thing is we're hosting them, man.
Yeah,
I mean, if
yeah,
we're in Miami, I think Colts would be cooked.
yeah,
Just because the weather in Miami is just, especially during September, it's still hot, it's humid, and it's ugly, nasty, and I don't think the Colts should be in it. But now, thank gosh, they're in Indianapolis, because that's just going to help, the Colts a little more, right? Obviously, we have a dome, so
Mhm.
nothing weather-wise that it could affect Miami.
Yeah.
But the Colts, I do think, you know, a lot of the media is saying, and from what I've seen, throughout like predictions from PFF, like looking through Miami Dolphins and the Colts, this matchup in particular, a lot of media is leaning towards Miami, which makes sense. But
Mhm.
I do think that the Colts, they do have the slight edge in this game. For
Yeah,
one, because of the secondary.
yeah.
The Dolphins secondary has a lot of young guys,
Hmm.
has a lot of guys that, right, could be just, right, they weren't graded really well last year, according to PFF,
Especially
around the
now getting rid
50s
of
and 60s
Ramsey.
margin. Yeah, and Jalen Ramsey isn't there anymore.
Mhm.
And they did get Minka Fitzpatrick, right? They do have a good safety in him. And
Mhm.
it's just a secondary that is much more, right, I would say just not as good
Yeah,
compared to, on paper, the Colts secondary. Because the
yeah,
Colts secondary, on the other hand, when you look at the weapons, right, the corners they added, Charvarius Ward, Xavier Howard, who ex-Dolphin, right, used to be a Dolphin, and then you got a McKee Blackman, right, from
Mhm.
Minnesota. At safety, you got Cam Bynum. You still have Nick Cross. So again, the Colts have nickel, Kenny Moore, right? So
Yeah,
you really look at the Colts roster in particular, and it's just really good, right? I mean, the Colts, their secondary now looks better, way better than last year, right?
yeah,
Look way better than last year. If you gave me the secondary from last year in this game, I would be a little more worried.
yeah.
But I think that this secondary should be able to handle the weapons in Tyreek Hill, in Jalen Waddle for a little
Mhm.
bit, right? Those
Yeah.
guys are still really fast. They have Devon Achane, who's an amazing running back, who has shown he
Mhm.
can. Wow, he can break tackles, right?
Yeah.
That guy is a huge, he's a speedy running back that can get around the edges really fast and definitely get chunky yardage. What worries more about Miami is the offensive line. I've
Mhm.
heard that those are more of the worries for Miami right now, and that makes a lot of sense. They don't have a lot of shiny players on that offensive line. It's like kind of in the middle of the pack, if not,
Yeah.
leaning more towards that bottom 10. They're not an amazing offensive line, but definitely, if the Colts can control the interior on the defensive side, right? Stop the run, stop HN, get the tackles you need to get, because Dolphins, they rely on yards after the catch, right? This is
Yeah.
a Mike McDaniel schemed offense that relies on yak. They rely on yards after the catch to get them through. So if Colts can just tackle, control the middle, control the interior, right? Stop the run, make
Mhm.
Tua uncomfortable, I think the Colts shouldn't have a problem with winning this football game. I got the Colts winning 24-20.
Okay. And from my point of view, just from media to just from the outside looking in, from Colts and Dolphins, honestly, the reason why I say the Colts have more the advantage is, yeah, they you're in your stadium. Your stadium is loud as hell, especially if it's week one, especially if y'all got
Yeah,
a few problems, especially at quarterback. Like, your fans are diehard; they're not gonna just leave just like that. So, the crowd is gonna be a big focus because everybody's excited for football. Week one, everybody will be at their home stadium. But another reason why I say Colts have the advantage is Colts are in that mode of, we're gonna fight with who we got, and each player's gonna fight for the position of staying as starter, for the season. Meanwhile, the Dolphins are kind of in desperation mode with their coach, with their quarterback, with their weapon.
yeah,
They're kind of in that, we kind of wasted too much money throughout these past years getting who we got, and now it's kind of looking like crap. Like, like you said, their
yeah.
secondary, especially trading Ramsey. Yeah, they got Minka, but Minka's going to be playing deep safety at most, and their cornerbacks aren't going to have that veteran presence as they do with Ramsey. So, I feel they will have trouble covering Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, just all the weapons, especially Warren at tight end. Like, that's
Oh, yeah, Tyler Warren.
no matter who is at quarterback with Daniel Jones or Anthony, that's gonna be the weapon that I feel they're gonna exploit the Dolphins defense with. And because you don't really hear much about Dolphins defense this whole offseason, so that's why their defense might honestly get torched like with yardage or yards after catch. And when it comes to Dolphins' offensive line, yeah, they are having issues. They're, like I said, they're playing desperate because of Tua's health as well as his concussions. A-Chain, I do have him on fantasy, so I do want his points. I do want his points to be up there, but I just don't see like if Colts clamp down on Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, as I think they will, because Tyreek is already getting up there in age. Jalen Waddle has been kind of, let's say, injury prone because he has been. Achane is kind of literally their number one weapon at this point. So I feel they're going to do a lot of nothing but zone runs. Try to exploit the run, but try to bootleg or anything like that. But if Colts defense can hold their own, the secondary especially, if they climb down on them, I see the Colts really shun them out. And honestly, I see Colts winning as well. And I'd say prediction would be if Daniel Jones does do his job as I feel he will against this defense, I feel the score will be 24-13, honestly.
Nice. Yeah, really good score. Thank you for giving us 11 points edge. That's really nice to hear. Yeah. I honestly think I could wish for that. I think it could definitely lean towards that. And, to your key points, right, just make Tua uncomfortable, get him on the edge, right? He's a guy that's very system-based, a guy that is very timing. If something's off timing, immediately, right, it's just panic mode. And just, Colts just need to get him on his edge. That's all they need to do. I think, the front seven of Miami, from what I've seen, is actually really good, right? They have Bradley Chubb, Chob Robinson, Jalen Phillips, right, is still there, Jordan Brooks. So, again, they have some really good guys on that front seven. It's just really the secondary that I feel like even Dolphins fans are more worried about right now, is the secondary getting exposed. So, it's more about getting enough pressure on Daniel Jones so he doesn't expose that secondary. But I really think that whatever quarterback makes the less mistakes, the fewer mistakes in this football game, is who's going to win. Tua Tagovailoa isn't, the best quarterback, right? He's kind of like, okay, he's solid. But Daniel Jones is kind of around, just that solid area too, right? So it just depends which quarterback is going to show up, which quarterback is going to make the fewer mistakes, and which one's gonna, win the football game. So that's what it's gonna depend on. But overall, the Colts hopefully should win this football game, and I think that'll go well.
Yeah, and I think between the running back competition, I think Jonathan Taylor will have a better game than Achane. That's what I believe. We'll see, but just the way the defenses are, it's one of those where I feel the Colts defense will focus on the Achane a lot, just because, like I said, they're going to be run heavy. I feel they're going to play safe with Tua, but, we'll see as Sunday comes, because y'all play at 12 o'clock, we play at 3 o'clock. So I'll get to watch y'all. I'll get to watch y'all first before we play.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks because I'm in